Hey, fellas, commissioners in San Antonio, Texas. I wanted to give a quick summary of the playoffs. I know it's late. Like, man, what are you sending this out for now? But you know what? I've been having video problems. I think I finally got it resolved. Thanks to Don Mega helping me out with some IT support on top of giving me a haircut. So, what better service can you get than that? Thanks, cuz. And I'm going to be able to upload the videos from my camera into YouTube and then onto the website moving forward. So, next year I'll be much better on top on top of these videos because I think they at least do keep people apprised and maybe somewhat engaged more than just not addressing it at all week to week or so. So anyway, quick funny story. I came into my hotel here in San Antonio and walked in and the security was deep, man. It was at 12, 13, 14 cats down there. And this is not a big hotel. I'm on the western riverfront. So I'm used to security maybe being a little bit beefed up because you guys know I deal with the military hospital systems, the DoD, and you got a lot of terrorist stuff going on. So it wouldn't be unusual for them to kind of be watching out for any kind of crazy that might be coming in trying to do something to these military personnel that's at this conference. So anyway, I go upstairs and they're all around the elevator. I mean, you literally have to go through about 4 or 5 dudes just to get to this little elevator corridor. So I go upstairs, I come down, and one of my colleagues says, "Hey, you know the Cleveland Cavaliers are here." I'm like, "Oh, is that right?" So I turn around, and there's Timothy Mozgov. You know, these dudes are big, man. You know, 7 foot, 7'1". You just don't see those types of cats walking around every day. And in fact, you don't see him hardly at all. So to see him, and then he was with two other dudes that were like 6'10". I don't know who they were, a couple of white dudes, and I don't know if one may have been Kevin Love, but they look more European than they did just a regular U.S. Born white person. So I don't know who they were, but they were all 6'10" and above. And Moscow, like I said, 7'1", I think it is. So anyway, just a funny story. I'm watching the game right now. They're at the Alamo Dome as we speak. So it's just like I say, a funny story. But moving on, man, playoff summary. I thought this was a great playoff, not because I won it, but just because it was just really, I thought, interesting because of that dynamics. I said Real Deal, Don Mega were favorites coming in, and I didn't see anything to make me think otherwise throughout the playoffs. Don Mega had something happen I've never seen, and he had 3 players go down in his game on his team and due to injuries. 2 of them went down in the first quarter, including, I think, Andy Dalton, his quarterback, which is critical. They still put up 66. That goes to testimony of how good the team was this season. And but Warriors put up 70, and Don Mega was done. Then we get into the second round, and both my boys and Real Deal was down huge in their games, as much as 30, 35 points at some time for both of us. And I knew I still had some heat coming on the second half of the day to maybe overcome that lead to Illmatic. But the Real Deal looked like they were really done, even going into maybe the fourth quarter. They were down 15, 20 points still, but Eli was hot. Remember that was a game where the Giants were killing Carolina 35-7. And the thing that's always scary about those games when you're playing against a quarterback on that losing team is that you know they're going to throw the ball every time. There's not going to be any running plays. So it's a chance for them to get a whole bunch of junk points and junk yardage and so forth. The next thing you know, they can lose a game badly, but the quarterback then put up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns trying to catch up. And essentially that's what happened with Real Deal, and they finally connected with Odell Beckham, and I think that's what put them over the top, and they were able to get past the Warriors. So kind of a painful loss for the Warriors, but that is what it is when it comes to fantasy. So we get to the Super Bowl. I told Illmatic I thought whoever won our game was going to be favored against Real Deal because by that time we knew going into Monday that Odell was suspended for that next game, and that combination of Eli Manning and Odell had been killing folks from Real Deal or on Real Deal's team or however that works at the whole last half of the season. So that combination not being there was painful for Real Deal, but Real Deal still put up 77 points, and obviously we resulted in a tie. And our game literally went down to the final play of Monday night because Real Deal I had the Bengals defense. We were tied, and Denver had scored 20 points. One more point, and I lose because you lose points at 21. And I think Osweiler, I think Denver had the ball. They were driving, if I remember correctly, and not until that final play where they either fumbled or got sacked, whatever the case was, it was the last play of the game that ended it. And man, it was crazy. It was almost like not worth it because it was so unnerving. I think literally I was down 2 points, and then I got a fumble from whoever the running back was on Denver. Like with 3 minutes left, I had given up. I was like, okay, this is over. It's not going to work out. And I heard Regina and them downstairs screaming, and because she knew the situation. And next thing you know, I looked at the TV, and somebody had fumbled, and Cincinnati recovered, and that really was what got me the game. And then they just had to hold on. So very exciting playoffs, and I'm glad to get that monkey off my back. 19 years. I'm tired of hearing the Eagles, Bill Savage, Kurt Dean, the boys. Now have as many rings as you do. So anyway, it's all good to get that off my back. And 19 years is too long, to not have a ring. So anyway, I'm glad to finally win one and move forward. So next weekend after next, conference championship weekend, we'll have a Super Bowl party. Either it's going to be 3 o'clock. It's going to be either at Tilted Kilt or 909 Sports Bar. Once again, if you're not going to be able to make it, then arrange with me to get the funds in, because I think I said it early in the season. Last 2-3 years, I've been collecting money well past the end of the season, and that obviously is something we don't want to have. Starts to take away the fun of the whole thing. I don't want to be a bill collector. We know the routine. I try to keep it consistent, so we all know that we're going to have the Super Bowl party, conference championship weekend every year, 3 o'clock every year. So going into the season what the deadlines are. So let's start trying to get these funds in. If you can't make it, I'll be around all next week. I got PayPal. I'll put my email on the email for this video, and either make arrangements with me or come on through. We need to get everybody together when we can. The whole purpose of this back in 1998 was to get the fellas a chance to kind of get together, some brothers, and hang out and fellowship and hug a little bit, have a little drink, and move on. There's only a couple hours out of the year that we do this on, so find some time. There ain't nothing, that critical unless you got appointments or meetings where you can't find some time to come hang out with somebody other than who you usually hang out with. We got families, we got friends, but this is something that we do together to have fun with. So try to make it out if you can, and spend a little time. Otherwise, fellas, good season. I think the message is on the wall that, hey, we got some newbies in here, Warriors, Illmatic, Bet Your Money, y'all. They setting the tone. All you original OGs think you're going to sit back and just watch your team perform without making moves. You ain't going to be in a Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you that right now, because these Thundercats coming in, they playing for keeps. So the 4 teams that were in the semifinals, I was telling Don Mega this, 4 teams that were in the semifinals were the 4 highest spending teams in regards to free agent pickups this season. And with the way the NFL goes nowadays, those years of high scoring running backs, high scoring receivers, I don't think that's happening anymore. You'll get that here and there, but for the most part, you're going to have to get these middle of the line, 1,000-yard, 8, 9, 10 touchdown guys on your squad, and that takes some work because you can't just draft them. So I think the tone is set that if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you better get involved. Because these Warriors, Illmatic, like they Bet Your Money at boys, and hey, we in it to win it. And that's whoever's in it to win it is going to win it. So anyway, fellas, have a good year, and hope to see everybody next week, and we'll be in touch. Peace.